Hello dear students, welcome to Devika's Commerce and Management Academy. In the last class, I gave you introduction of how to accumulate the long-term sources. In long-term sources, first source is shares. Shares is of two types. One is equity shares, preference shares. Today we will see in depth about equity shares. You will never forget in your life what is equity shares in depth. Okay. Next class we'll see preference shares. Equity shares. What are equity shares? I gave you introduction. Equity shares are those shares who are called them as owners of the company. Owners shares will say. Common shares. Okay. So whoever purchases equity shares, they feel they can act like an owner. They can participate in all the aspects of the organization and they are eligible for all the profits. At the same time, they are eligible for the losses also, and this is a permanent share, long term, very long term permanent share. This is. Let's see the features and advantages and disadvantages of this equity shares. First we'll see the features of equity share capital, equity shares. Okay, first thing is that maturity of the shares. If you see the equity shares maturity, there is no maturity at all, it is permanent. I have purchased 1 lakh equity shares. It will be in the company itself only. As long as the company runs, till the existence of the company, my 1 lakh shares will be with the company itself only. There is no maturity. No maturity. I'll not get back the money. Only the thing is that I will get the dividend according to the profits. Dividends will be varying. Do you know that whenever company gets the profits, out of the profits, they'll decide that how much is to be given to the preference shareholders and how much interest is to be given to the debenture holders, and leftover whatever is there, so that they will decide this will be given to the, and leftover also they'll be deciding how much is to be kept for reserves, how much is to be kept for retained earnings. Then they'll be deciding this is the percentage we'll give it to the equity shareholders. Am I clear? Once again, please remember, whenever company is getting profits, a company got a profit of 1 crore. Out of 1 crore, first they wanted to pay back to the preference shareholders. Preference shareholders, what do they give? They give the dividend. Then after that, second one is that they'll pay to the debenture holders. What do they pay? Interest. After paying these two, whatever is left, suppose say 70 lakh is left. Out of 70 lakh, they wanted to keep some amount as retained earnings. 70 lakh they are not going to distribute to the equity shareholders. Out of 70 lakh, suppose say 40 lakh, they wanted to keep it as retained earnings, future purpose. 70 lakh, out of this 40 lakh, they kept it as retained earnings. Now how much is left? 30 lakh. Left over 30 lakh. 30 lakh, they wanted to distribute to the equity shareholders. What do they give? They'll pay the dividend. Whatever they get. 30 lakh, they have decided. 30 lakh. How many shares are there? Each shareholder, how much they are going to get? Maybe 10%, 12%, 15%, 20% also, because of the huge profits. Are you getting it? This is the distribution of dividend to the equity shareholders. Least preference. But when company is going towards the lots of huge profits, then equity shareholders are going to get the maximum benefit. This is the advantage. But anyway, remember this, maturity of the shares is no maturity. Forever it will be in the company itself only. As long as the company is getting the profits, they are eligible for the profit. If no profit, they won't get anything. Company is under loss also, no profit. So anyway, the company shares will be, when you purchase this equity shares, it will be in the company itself forever. No question of redeemable, or no question of maturity. No, it will be in the company. Second thing is that right to claim residual profit. They have right to claim the residual profit, but when they get the profit out of company's profits, whatever company is getting profits, out of that profit they are eligible to get the profit. As I explained, the same process. If the company is getting profit, let them to pay to everyone. Now leftover is this much, so this is to be distributed to the all the preference equity shareholders in the form of dividend. They are eligible. This is one of the main feature. Okay, right to claim the residual profits. Out of the profits, they have the right. Next, right to claim residual assets. This is at the time of liquidation, winding up of the company. When company is not in the right position, company is in winding up position, at that time, please remember, they have right to get the amount, invested amount, but after paying to all the people. Suppose a company is under liquidation position. They sold out all the properties. They got 15 crores of money. 15 crores of money, first preference will be given to the debenture holders. First, let them to get. Then after that, preference shareholders. Now, whatever is left out of that, now these people, equity shareholders, are going to get back their investment after paying to the preference shareholders and debenture holders. But anyway, they have right to claim the residual assets also. Assets, let them sell the assets. Now, whatever they get, out of that, these people are also eligible. Next one, right to control. Before right to control, I must say voting rights. First, we'll cover this point. Then after that, this is connected with the right to control. What is this voting right? Means every equity shareholder is having a right to elect the directors of the company. They have voting right. They can participate in company meetings. They can participate in the election of the board of directors also. There they are going to elect the board of directors. They have the right to vote. When they have the right to vote means, now let me connect this point to the right to control. When they are electing, they have the right. Then automatically they have the control over the organization also. They can decide who will be the directors, who will be the best directors, and what they wanted to do. Ups and downs, all these things are possible in the hands of the equity shareholders, not the preference shareholders or debenture holders. Preference shareholders, no right at all. Debenture holders, no question at all. So only these equity shareholders, they are having the voting of right. When they have right, they have the control over the organization also. Now connected to these 2 points. Next thing, proxy fight. Proxy fight means, as I said, voting right is there for the equity shareholder. If at all equity shareholder is unable to participate in the company meeting and unable to vote during the elections of board of directors, then he may send another person. That person, we call him as a proxy. Proxy means substitute of equity shareholders to participate in the voting of the elections. Proxy. They have the right to appoint proxy on behalf of the equity shareholders. Suppose I am equity shareholder. I am unable to participate the company voting process, election process. I can send somebody who's Mr. A. I'm sending Mr. A. Mr. A, go and participate on behalf of me. I'm giving you in writing. Go and participate. Participate in voting on behalf of me. You can participate in the voting. So that is called as proxy fight. Equity shareholders is having right to vote. If not possible, he can appoint the proxy on behalf of the equity shareholder. Another important feature. Next thing is the transferability of funds. I purchased equity shares. This I can transfer to anyone. No restriction at all. No date, nothing is mentioned. To whom I wanted to transfer, I can transfer comfortably. The transferability facility is there in equity shares. Transferability of funds. Anytime, anyone. Yes, go ahead. I'm giving you. Use it. Now you will be the owner. I can declare it. Next thing. Preemptive rights. Preemptive rights means whenever equity shareholder is there, he is having a right to purchase the new funds also. When company is issuing new funds, already company is having suppose a 1 crore, company is issuing 2 more crores, 2 more crores extra they are issuing. Now, being a equity shareholder, I have a right to purchase this 2 crore rupees. First preference will be given to the existing equity shareholders, then others. So this we call it as a preemptive rights. Now at what rate? Same rate. I purchased long ago at the rate of 10 rupees. Now company has issued 2 crores. I wanted to purchase some more equity shares. Same 10 rupees only. Maybe right now 12 rupees or 15 rupees, but same rate I am eligible to purchase. This we call it as a preemptive rights. New existing equity shares, existing equity shareholders can purchase at old rate. Preference will be given to the existing equity shareholders. Then others will be given chance to purchase the extra equity shares, whatever is issued, like this one. Am I clear? Last one, limited liability. This point already covered in the last class. Excuse me. Liability is limited. You know that equity shareholders, they are eligible to get the profits and also losses. Whenever company is under loss, they may be losing their investment also. If my investment is 50,000, my investment is 50,000. If the company is under loss, damn sure I'll not get the profits. Company is under loss. But if the loss is huge, even I may miss my 50,000 also. This is limited up to 50,000 only, not beyond 50,000. Companies may be having lots of losses, but still my liability is limited to 50,000, not more than that. Voice is troubling today. 50,000 only, not more than that. So we say it as a limited liability. So these are the main features of the equity shareholders, equity shares, you can say. If you follow this, you can understand maximum about equity shares. 90-95% you can understand. Now we'll discuss about advantages and disadvantages. Advantages, first thing is that permanent source of finance. As we have discussed, maturity of shares, no maturity. Once equity shares are issued, purchased, permanent it is. Always it will be in the company itself only. So that is why permanent source of finance. Need not to think about the sources. This is always permanent. Next one, voting rights. As all the equity shareholders are having the right of vote, they'll enjoy this. They feel that they are owners of the company. They'll come and they'll participate. So that is why this is one of the advantage for the equity shareholders. Second thing is that no fixed dividend. Dividend is not fixed. Company is free from this burden. Company is having profits. Okay, as I have explained, they'll decide something and they'll give it to the equity shareholders. If no profit, no burden, no tension about this equity shareholders, it will not be given, that's all. So that is why company is free from the tension, because no fixed dividend. Dividend always fluctuates. Company gets lots of profit, lots of dividend. No profit, no dividend. That's it. So it is always fluctuating, no fixed dividend. Less cost of capital compared to any source of funds. If you see preference shares, debentures, or loan from any financial institutions, compared to any other source, this equity shares is having less cost of capital, less they are paying. Less cost of capital means capital whatever they are getting, company is getting for this sources from the equity shareholders. So this amount is less, cost is less. Compared to any other thing, this cost is less. say 1 crore issued, 1 crore out of that equity shares are say 50,000, 50 lakh. 50 lakh is equity shares. 50 lakh issued equity shares means this is permanent. If they get profit, they'll give, otherwise they won't give. Na? So the cost is not much, liberal, and they can use it easily. So that is why we can say the cost of the capital is less of this equity shares. If they issue rather than 50 lakh of equity shares, if they issue preference share capital, then that's a burden. They have to pay, company has to pay some dividend, fixed dividend, whatever is decided earlier, they have to pay. But whereas the equity shares, no. So that is why we can say it as a less cost of capital. These are the 4 advantages. Of course, there are few disadvantages also. First thing is that irredeemable. Irredeemable means once the equity capital is issued, that will be always in the company itself only. It cannot be redeemed. It cannot be matured. It cannot be given back to the equity shareholders. If that is the case, sometimes funds are more, over funds. So that will be a burden. In case of over funds, then this will be a burden on the company. We cannot redeem, we cannot give back to the equity shareholder. That will be always, they have to bear it. So this could be a disadvantage. And obstacles in management. As you know that equity shareholders are the company owners. They participate in all activities. They participate in writing, voting, and also company meetings. They have the right to express about the company activities also. Sometimes it may be obstacles in management activities also, because they are the owners. They have right. Next thing is that leads to secularism. Secularism means they may get a kind of monopoly on the company. If equity shareholders are together, they have unity, they have secularism, automatically they'll have the command over the company. Board of directors cannot do anything. And at this stages, you may find lots of activities like layoff, strike, conflict between the management and the employees. So this will happen especially in such cases. And last thing is that limited income to investors. Investor point of view, this is disadvantage. Limited income. Your income will be always limited only. I purchased 10,000 equity shares. On this, I get only limited amount only, not more than that. And I cannot increase also. I cannot do anything. It is in the hands of the company. My income will be always limited compared to any other source. Okay. So these are the advantages, disadvantages. Am I clear about this topic? Want to take screenshot? Yes. In the next class, we'll talk about preference shares. Hope it is useful. You need to have depth knowledge. Once if you gain the knowledge, you will never forget this topic. Important. Stay connected. Check out the playlist. Whatever I prepared, don't forget to share these videos. And stay connected. Good luck.